Hello everybody and welcome to Nathan on Shuffle and to my latest edition of New Music Friday on Saturday. This is July 16th, 2022, and this is the show where I give you guys the top 5 prog headlines for the week and give you the top 5 prog singles and talk about what's going on with the channel. So hopefully you'll have fun. Fortunately, I wasn't able to have a show on Friday this week because of work and various things just making my schedule pretty hectic. So I thought it would be fun to still do a show and release it on Saturday. So hopefully you guys appreciate the news here on Saturday. And for those of you who haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. I do a weekly news show about everything in prog, along with a variety of other topics and things going on the channel. New album reviews, song reactions with my wife, and all sorts of great fun prog and music related content. So I'd really appreciate it if you subscribed and join me along for the journey. So what I always like to start with, prog news item headline number 1, is with the new releases that are prog related for the day. And this week we saw some new releases, one from a band called Birth, and their album is Born. This is a band kind of brought up from the roots of Astra, which is a very cool psych prog band that about 10 years ago had their last album. You know, they haven't had an album in quite some time, but it looks like a new group is forming from those ashes with members from Astra. And it sounds like it's a pretty cool project, and a lot of people are hailing this album as a great new addition to the prog landscape this year. Very old school prog centered, very psychedelic, very classic prog, as it were, and it's getting a lot of rave reviews, so definitely one worth checking out. Also, on a totally different note, much more modern sounding, Black Midi released their newest album, Hellfire, as well. Black Midi is a very modern English rock band with progressive leanings. They kind of go through a lot of different styles and are a lot of different things. Their music's very chaotic and busy, but there's elements of different genres and different, chaotic things going on in the music, great, different time signatures, different things that grab your ear and that are different from the conventional sound. So they get a lot of attention in the modern music landscape, not just in prog, but amongst a lot of other modern music critics who just cover all kinds of music in alternative, indie rock, that kind of lane. But their music is very adventurous, very different, very interesting. It's a band I've been trying to get into, and so I thought I'd mention their new album. If it's to your taste, you might want to go check it out, because it's very eclectic and interesting, and something I'm going to try to delve into a bit more and see how I feel about it, because I'm still trying to figure out how I feel about the band. And it's not my typical style of prog, but I want to put attention towards anything new that's interesting. Item number 2, this was really exciting as a Dream Theater fan. John Petrucci announces first headlining solo tour with Dave LaRue and Mike Portnoy. Great rhythm section there, of course. Dave LaRue is from Dixie Dregs, also plays with Mike Portnoy in Flying Colors. A great player, great on the bass, and Mike Portnoy, pretty much goes without saying. He's legendary figure in the modern prog realm, playing drums on just about anything. Of course, has a great long storied career with Neil Morse, and of course was the drummer for Dream Theater for quite a long time until he left the group a while back. So it's somewhat of a reuniting of sorts between John Petrucci and Mike Portnoy. They reunited for a couple albums recently for John Petrucci's solo album, which is what he's touring, Terminal Velocity, and also the new Liquid Tension Experiment album, which features both of them. But it's really cool because they didn't play for quite some time together because of the disbanding, not the disbanding, but because of Mike Portnoy leaving Dream Theater, and there was questions of would they play together again? Was there bad blood there? What was happening? But it seems like there's no bad blood. They're great friends, and definitely willing to work together and are having kind of a renaissance together of great new music. So it's really exciting to hear about and to see that they're going to be playing together. There's not many dates yet that have been announced. Really, there's 3 shows that they've scheduled, one in Boston on October 7th, one in New York on October 13th, and one in Washington, D.C. on October 15th. They're going to be joined by Mean Streak, an all-female group. It's comprised of guitarist Marlene Portnoy and Rena Sands, vocalist Bettina France, bassist Martins Young, and drummer Yal. So some notable relations there to some Dream Theater members, I believe. And so I'm sure there's more dates to be announced, but this is just a promise of what's to come. And if you are in any of those markets, Boston, New York, or Washington, D.C., definitely a notable thing to check out. And hopefully they'll come around to multiple different markets. And hopefully for me, they'll come around to California and maybe I can check out a show. That would be really exciting. Number 3, a new item of news that I just saw, Threshold, a great progressive rock band, progressive metal leaning UK band. They released a brand new single called Silence from their upcoming album, The Dividing Line. So this is a really cool single. I've been listening to it. It sounds really great. I really loved the band's previous album, 2017's Legends of the Shire, which was really a beautiful kind of sprawling album that had a lot of music on it and was really a great listen that brought my attention to the group, even though they've been around for quite some time and are pretty well known in the progressive metal space. But I thought that album was just really fantastic. So it's cool to see they're coming up with a new album, The Dividing Line, coming out on Nuclear Blast on November 18th, their 12th album. And it seems like they're describing it as Legends of the Shire's darker, moodier older brother. So it should be fun. And that's already out for pre-order in all of the different places that you might expect it to be. Releasing as a CD digipack, a double vinyl gatefold in various color vinyl formats. And you can check out the artwork as well. It's out there and available. So a lot of cool things happening in that camp, and should be an album to look forward to, and very well maybe covered on the channel when it comes out. So an exciting piece of news there. Headline number 4, talking about Leprous, which I feel like I just talked recently about Leprous and their touring news and things that they're doing, but they announced an Aphelion European tour, as well as some anniversary shows in the U.S. Leprous, I really like the group, playing more of a darker edge, heavier prog, but they're really talented and amazing musicians and amazing live. They're performing with Apocalyptica, I believe, in the U.S. That was the last piece of news, their North American tour with Apocalyptica and Wheel that starts in September. But the dates here that they're announcing are all throughout 2023 in Europe and various markets. So it seems like it's a really cool tour, definitely worth checking out. They did a lot of dates in North America, so it's cool to see them hitting a lot of notable places in Europe. So that should be cool. And then, as they mentioned, there's these 20th anniversary shows they're doing in the US. Kind of amongst their tour with Apocalyptica, they've added these full headline sets to their schedule, one in Chicago, and then one in Los Angeles, and one in Berkeley, California. So definitely interesting there to see them doing a couple extra special shows that could be fun to view if you're around those areas in North America. So definitely some interesting things going on in the Leprous world. Number 5 news item, Emerson, Lake and Palmer announced a remastered vinyl singles box set. So this seems interesting. I really love Emerson, Lake and Palmer, of course. And this is a colored vinyl box set collecting all of the band's single releases. Singles will feature from their releases between 1971 and 1992, and this set will be released through BMG Records on August 26th. So it's really an interesting set. Carl Palmer talks about how this box set of singles is very important to the development of ELP. The music that you will hear opened the door to radio around the world, and then the musical concept of ELP was born. So they have a lot of cool singles that they've released throughout their career. Of course, Lucky Man is a notable song from their early days, from the beginning. Jerusalem, Fanfare for the Common Man, Brain Salad Surgery. Just a lot of cool singles that were released, and it's cool to get a set of all of them together. Singles will be 12 reproduced two-sided 7-inch singles, pulled from the UK and international pressings, complete with rare original picture sleeves and label artwork. And it also includes an extended booklet with detailed notes from prog writer Sid Smith, a foreword from Carl Palmer, rare band photos, plus 12x7 companion art cards inspired from the original single sleeves. So a lot of cool stuff there. For collectors, that should be really fun. A fun set of different singles. And so those are the main news items. I also noticed a couple other quick hits I wanted to mention. Marillion announced that they're doing their Marillion weekends in 2023. So cool that they're already confirming that. And I know a lot of people get excited about them, and they're huge events. I've even been told in the comments, like, you have to make the trek, you have to go. It's like a can't miss, once in a lifetime experience. So I definitely have that in my mind for the future, but I don't know if it'll ever be feasible, but it would be definitely an amazing experience. They've confirmed that the Port Zealand weekend in the Netherlands is confirmed for 4 nights in March of next year. And then they're looking at other dates for Germany, Italy, UK, and North America, plus a confirmed, plus a as yet undisclosed location. So that'll be cool to see them in 2023 doing these big, expansive Marillion weekends. And I also saw that Gentle Giant is releasing a box set, Front Row Center, U.S. dates 1976 to 1980, a 10 LP deluxe box set releasing on Madfish on September 23rd, 2022, celebrating 4 classic years of touring throughout the USA, encompassing the full Gentle Giant live experience through never before pressed vinyl, unseen memorabilia, and photographs. So really cool set there for big Gentle Giant fans. So those are the big headlines. I have my list of singles you could check out below. I would really appreciate if you looked at the description where I talk and have a link to all the YouTube videos for these different singles. I have a single from Black Midi, the new release that was out today. I have the new single from David Lungden, Watch It Burn. His solo album, posthumous solo album, is coming out later this year. So that's definitely something to listen to and to appreciate. His album Door 1 will be coming out October 14th. I put a track from Circles called Sleepwalking, a Melbourne prog alt metal group who's new. So that's something to look forward to. Also Voyager and their track Submarine, a premier electro power pop metal group from Australia, and the new Threshold single that I mentioned in the bigger headlines. So those are all there in the description for you guys to check out if you're interested in those. Hopefully there's something there that can whet your appetite and make you interested in the music genre. And so those are the things that I wanted to mention. On the channel this week, I did a new music shuffle show where I talk about several new releases that have been coming out in the past month and go through them and give quick reviews. I'd really recommend you guys go check that out if you're interested and want some new prog albums to discover, because there's a lot of cool, great stuff in there. I feel like those new music shuffle videos don't get enough love because they're one of my favorite things to put together and to give you guys great album recommendations. And they get some attention from the artists themselves who chime in the comments and who seem appreciative of seeing their work shared. And so I want to spread the word more and get people out there loving this new progressive rock music, especially some of the more obscure groups that don't get the big press headlines like some of the bands I've mentioned here. So please check that out. I'd really appreciate it. Coming up on the week, some notable stuff with Jana. I believe I'm going to release my next classic albums with Jana this week. It should be a lot of fun as we talk about classic albums through the years. We're going to do a really notable, cool prog epic, classic prog, in our upcoming new or Prog Song Sunday show that we have So that should be a blast to put out there. I think you guys are going to really like it. And I have a couple of collaborative shows coming up that I'm doing with some other fellow YouTubers that should be a lot of fun, that I'll be definitely pointing your attention towards when those come out. So that's really what I've got. Hopefully you guys appreciate the channel and have some fun, and that you guys are out there enjoying what you're listening to and have some great music going on. So hopefully you appreciated the show and the headlines that I had, and there's something here that interested you. So thank you guys so much for supporting my channel, for being there for me, for commenting, subscribing, liking, all of the stuff. You guys are so great. I'm so appreciative of all the people who are so positive and so kind to me and what I'm trying to do here. I know I'm a small operation here. I'm just kind of a guy in his house having fun talking about his favorite subject. But I'm just so thrilled that people are actually interested to pay attention to me. So thank you guys so much. You guys are really great out there, and hope you're having a great time and are all safe and happy and everything's going well. So I'll catch you guys in another video. Bye, everybody.